Hello, I'm Orange Cat, and this is my analysis of Toonami's ratings from October 13th, 2018, as you can see here in the picture. I'll start with an overall comment here. It's a little better than last week. It's not a massive jump in the right direction, nor did it get worse than last week, but let's be honest, it really could not get much worse than last week. And I'll start with Dragon Ball Z Kai. It actually went down a bit, went down to 0.15 in the ratings. Very disappointing considering how much of just a stone rock it was in the ratings when it was last on the air not too long ago. And then you have My Hero Academia. Went up 200 of a point, but it's still only at 0.16, which it doesn't sound too horrible until you compare it to the fact that just 3 weeks earlier it got a 0.28 in the ratings. So it's still almost half as much in terms of ratings what it was just 3 weeks ago. And that's something you don't really want to see. But then you have the Naruto Power Hour doing very well, at least did a lot better this week, up 500s, 400s respectively. Like I said, if it wants to be like this consistent, strong part of the block, if it wants to be seen as a great decision, I think it needs to hold at least like a 0.19 consistently. Naruto's at a 0.2, Boruto at a 0.21, so it's at those numbers, and if it holds there, then it'll look like a really great decision for the by Toonami to have them there at that point in the ratings. And then you have Dragon Ball Super, who went up the largest, went up 600s to a 0.31, so finally back over a 0.3 after a couple weeks of not having a single show at 0.3 on the block. That's a great thing to see if you really want to see that. So, and then you have Fully Cooley, the alternative, the finale of it, going up 200ths of a point to a 0.17. It went up. I still think, considering it's the biggest investment on the block, that's still a disappointing number, even with the high streaming. And then you have Attack on Titan, which went up to 200 to a 0.18. Very good for it in its spot, especially considering that it beat Fully Cooley, which was right in front of it. That's a good signal for the show. Perhaps a signal that Attack on Titan should have been put a little earlier in the schedule, though. Then you have Diamond is Unbreakable, which has not had a good go of it, really, especially as put on the block. I mean, think about it. It was first put behind Pop Team Epic, which was dragging down the ratings for the longest, for a handful of weeks. And then right now, you have this weird scenario with Alternative not really doing too well, and Attack on Titan just slightly building on that. So it's not getting the best lead ins in terms of numbers, and it went up to 100s to only a 0.15, considering which made it one of the lower rated shows the first half of the block. Just something you don't want to see. Black Clover, I mean, it held where it was, which really isn't amazing considering that that's a low number for the show. Not too long ago, it was flirting with that, and Hunter x Hunter was flirting close to a 0.2. If Hunter x Hunter that actually decreased this week, really suffering with the schedule change, flipping it behind Black Clover. And then now you get to the rerun section of the block, which really didn't have the best of weeks. All of them dropped a little. One Punch Man down to a 0.12. Lupin the Third. Okay, that held. Not bad at all, especially for a show that it's a liked show, but maybe not as liked as the other shows on the block. I mean, it's kind of easy to forget that it exists in there. And then you have once again, the finale, Cowboy Bebop, the millionth time it's been run on Toonami, so you can't really put much emphasis on being the finale. It ended a little lower. It went down to a 0.11. Don't think we've had so many 0.11s ever for Toonami. And then you have Samurai Jack go down 200s to a 0.11, and which is something to particularly note considering that next week's schedule, for the time being, we're going to have a brief schedule change where it's going to be the same, except for where Cowboy Bebop is at 3 o'clock. It's going to be another episode of Samurai Jack, so it'll be an hour of Samurai Jack to finish the block each week, which on the whole I think is not a bad decision. Samurai Jack's a pretty well-loved show. They're showing back to the first season, which is in high demand. Many people really want to see the really early stuff again. But again, more other general comments on this. I have to go back to Fully Cooley. I know I put a lot of emphasis on the show, and I have a review every week of the show. You have to really emphasize William Street threw a lot of money into this. And considering the fact that it really wasn't ever well received in Japan, The reboots weren't, I meant. And the fact that the ratings here weren't amazing. It relied completely on streaming for money. And I know streaming's the future, but I don't think with the numbers it didn't get another enough of that outside secondary source of money to really make this a profitable venture for William Street. But I don't know any specific numbers here. I'm just coming up with it basically here with what little things we do know about it, like I said, the reception, the streaming numbers, but it's a big thing for them. And another thing I like to note is Dragon Ball Super, Naruto, and Boruto were the top three rated shows in the block. So three shows that are generally considered like the casual tier, normal tier anime, really making their case here. And it's just the type of thing to see. Like I said, if Naruto and Boruto hold in this range, we're gonna see it at 10 o'clock for quite a long time. With Naruto ending in 2024 at this current rate, at the weekly pace it's going on with Toonami, and Boruto still a continually being produced show. Not much else to really comment on, but My Hero Academia, another thing I have to note about it, it's probably the second biggest investment Adult Swim has in Toonami right now. Of course, behind Alternative Fully Cooley. I mean, it could not have been a cheap show to get. You don't have streaming rights for it, so you can't be like, oh, it's streaming well, because Funimation has the rights to that. And you see a number like a 0.16 early in the block, especially when you will have a show an hour after that that gets almost double those ratings, and then you have like it being built on, not just like in a small way, like how Fully Cooley Alternative got very slightly built on by JoJo, by not JoJo, by Attack on Titan. Like it's like a 0.100 here, but if you look at the really fractional stuff, it only got like a couple thousand more demographic viewers, which is almost nothing. It was just a slight tiebreaker. Like you can't really love those numbers. Again, though, if I had to sum everything up, it's a slightly better like than last week. It's not the worst news in the world, and especially if Fully Cooley does keep up streaming, then that's a good thing. And if maybe Samurai Jack having a second episode per week helps the back end of the block, then that might really help too. But I mean, you have these continuous schedule changes like every third week or so it seems like. I mean, it's hard to know what's on which time because it keeps getting moved around the block. I mean, so it's like, why would I sit to watch a show if it might get pushed back 3 hours later next week? And I think that's a mentality a lot of people are building in with the fidgeting around of the schedule. And also, just the lead in this week was also pretty poor lead in. Like, you had Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel from 7 to 9 on Cartoon Network leading into the block. Which, let's be honest, I don't think there's too much overlap between Dragon Ball Z Kai's audience and the audience for that. Just like last week, you had Puss in Boots. To correct myself, I said it was The Amazing World of Gumball the week before, but I was wrong. It was Puss in Boots, which again I said is not going to be much of a crossover between those fan bases, I suppose. But next week it's a little better because we're getting close to Halloween. From 6 to 8, you have a repeat of the Adventure Time miniseries Stakes, which is Halloween themed, I guess, because you're hunting vampires and stuff. And then you have back-to-back episodes of Tales from the Park from regular show, which I think bit more overlap between that and Toonami's audience. So I think we'll see a little better ratings again next week. And that's something we'll see, and that's something I'll report on when I see it next Tuesday. Thank you. I am Orange Cat, and that is